All right, I am in Photoshop and I'm going to crop this so just this mushroom guy is in the image using the crop tool. I'm in Photoshop and hit the return key. I think I can still crop this some more. So I'm going to get up to the mushroom edges and to the top and bottom and hit the return key. Okay, now I need to check my layers. Here's my layers, and you'll notice that currently this is a locked layer, which means if I start erasing now, I will not have a transparent background. I will have a white background because that's the color in the background right here. I want it to be transparent, so if I put it in Illustrator, I can put whatever I want behind it and not be stuck with this rectangle around it of whatever's behind there now. So I'm going to double click on that layer and that opens up the new layer dialog box. I can change the name to mushroom or I could just close it because just double clicking it and opening it and closing it will also make it mushroom no longer be a locked layer, but rather when I click OK now there's no more lock on here. And I'm going to zoom by clicking a couple times. And I'm going to make quick work of this. I'm going to press E for the eraser tool. I can see my eraser is way too big. And I'm going to notice here that it's 175 pixels. I'm going to use the left bracket key and make it smaller. And then also look at here the hardness. The hardness is 100, which is good. So I'm going to just start hacking out the background. That's one way I can remove the background is by visually just trying to get out whatever parts of this I can quickly see to get rid of, and that may not last very long because yeah, I can see that I'm going to have to do some more fine details than just this giant hacking out tool does. So I'm going to press Z for zoom, zooming in, go back to the brush tool, or rather the eraser, E, and I'm going to make the eraser smaller. Left bracket key or change this number. Now it's on 9. And that's better, and I can click and drag. One of the things I was showing you last time was that when you have straight sides, it's really easy, or straight-ish sides, to click and hold the shift key down and kind of connect the dots. So what's happening when I click is that wherever I click next is getting erased. So here, I can just erase a little bit more quickly. And good enough. Okay, I'm not going to erase the whole thing. I think you can understand what would happen if I did. I'm going to erase this, hack it out here. I could also use selection tools and select around this, such as the polygon lasso tool, where I will now select the negative space around the shape in chunks and just delete. So click will now select the next area. And I'm doing it quickly. You'll probably need to do it more slowly. And now I have this chunk selected. Oops, Command Z. It's now selected. Delete, deselect. Okay. So either by erasing and or selecting and deleting, what I'm removing is anything around the object, thus creating a transparent background. So now it's transparent. To bring it into Illustrator and to maintain that transparency, or into InDesign, when I export it, I'm going to actually make sure, File Export, that it exports with a, I'm sorry, all of a sudden I stopped knowing words. It exports with a file format that will support transparency. So, to save it with transparency, I need to go to Save As. And probably the most popular for print would be TIFF. And I've selected TIFF here for my file format. It's called WACT4 TIFF. And it really doesn't have any but one layer. And the profile, yes, that can be embedded. And here I can see everything is in place, and in fact, Save Transparency is right there, and click OK. And now if I go to an Illustrator file and I do File, Place, and I find my wacky TIFF and place it, click and drag, and see that indeed it has transparency. The other format that you can save this in would be the PNG file format. And here I would go to Export and then choose Export As. Very important to choose Export As. It's picking up that it should use PNG and use transparency, and this would be more suitable for putting in a web page or a layout for a screen, device, multimedia, interactive something where I need transparency. All right, I'm not going to save that one.
Okay, so the difference between this and the space junk